All right, guys, here is the Logan figure out of the package. So there is some assembly required as it comes to the motorcycle, and it is the same as the Ghost Rider bike, and you'll see based on some of the notches and some of the different things that's on there. So it is the same bike, obviously just a different paint color, so it's a reissue, not a big deal. I mean, we would expect Hasbro, if they're going to be producing something, they're going to reuse a lot of these parts. So it's not a surprise, doesn't bother me in the slightest whatsoever. But first, let's check out the accessories. So first off, Logan comes with a pair of additional hands, and these are just the open hands. You can zoom in. Not a whole lot to him, obviously, just so he can hold on to the handlebars of the motorcycle. Not a problem. He has the additional head with the eye patch, looking very clean, looking very good. Ears there, the hair all curved up, done in a jet black color. Paint came out looking pretty good. No complaints with that. I think it looks good. I'm going to swap out the head here pretty soon, because this head is actually the same head that I believe that comes with the vintage Wolverine. But let me kind of double check that actually. Alright guys, here's the Logan figure out of the package, looking awesome. Just real quick, the bike, it is a reuse of the Ghost Rider bike, obviously just different paint, but that's no surprise. We would expect Hasbro that if they're producing something like that, they're going to find every way they can reuse it, and let's be honest, it's a perfect fit. It makes sense. So it is a repaint, just a little bit different paint color, and then obviously a couple of minor differences as far as accessories. But overall accessories that the figure comes with, the Logan figure comes with an additional set of hands, and these are obviously open hands to hold on to the handlebars. No big deal. And then he comes with the additional head sculpt with the eye patch. This one, the sculpt came out really good. I like the hair, how it's all pointed on both sides. Came out looking really good. Paint apps, very clean. So I like it. Good job, Hasbro. Now, as far as the Logan figure, he has the additional unmasked head sculpt for Logan. This is a different head. It is not the same that came with the Jubilee Wave or the Vintage Wave. This one, he has that kind of open mouth look. Not my favorite look, but it definitely looks like the hair is kind of blowing through. The wind is blowing through his hair, so, you know, I guess this is kind of the look you would have it, you know, as he's riding the motorcycle. Not my favorite, but definitely not terrible. The paint apps are very clean on it, so there's no complaints in those regards. It does look very good. Big highlight for me is something so stupid is the painted on arm hair. With the 12-inch Marvel Legends Wolverine figure, we didn't get that. The upcoming Apocalypse Wave Wolverine in the tiger stripe suit, he doesn't have painted on hair, but I believe there's sculpt work on the arms for the hair. But this figure actually doesn't have any sculpted hair, but it's actually just painted on, so at least we get something like that. It gives it a little bit of a realistic touch. I like that. Here on camera, when you're watching the video, you can see the torso and the arm are different color. It doesn't come out so much when you actually have it in hand. It's just as the bright lights kind of come on off of it, that's how it's going to appear and look. But that's always because torso is always a harder plastic than the arms, which are more of a rubbery plastic. So that's why you kind of get those paint differences. Not a big deal. You'll see it with like the Hulk figure from Age of Ultron. Torso was one green, arms were a different green, everyone lost their minds. It's because the hard plastic, soft plastic. So it's completely normal. There. Now the bottom part is going to be the same as the Old Man Logan figure from the Warlock Wave. Obviously just different paint. The buckle might be the same. Just nice gold. I can't really make out any kind of detail or any image or anything on there. It just looks like a little spotted pattern. But the jean denim paint job looks great. I think that Hasbro did a great job. Much better than with like the Mary Jane figure that had the jeans, or even the who has it, Jessica Jones. I think this is probably the best denim look that they've pulled off, and it looks very clean. You can see that, you know, there's different shades of the blue kind of within, and it looks really good. It has the textured detail to the pants as well, so great job Hasbro on that. It's just white for the tank top on Wolverine, so very cool. But that's going to swap out the hands because we don't need these, the same claws that we've always seen. Just going to pop them off and put on these hands because we're going to get them onto the motorcycle. So the hands just kind of pop in like so. It actually looks kind of small. I don't know if that's, looks kind of weird to me actually. Yeah, just pop on like so, the head. And we're gonna Go over it with the eye patch head sculpt there. Really good. And then let's go over the articulation before we move on to the motorcycle. So the head will look down that much, pretty good. Look all the way up, awesome. Obviously rotation, full arm rotation there. Arms go out that high, full rotation. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, good range of motion there. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. And then torso goes down pretty far, and it does look natural for the most part. So good job there. Goes back that much, and the ratcheting is very, I don't want to say loose, but it's soft, if that makes sense. So no hard ratcheting or clicking in there. And then waist swivel, legs go out that far, so not a whole lot. You know, you got tight jeans, you can't do the splits. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, lots of motion there. Foot has ankle pivot, not a whole lot of range of motion. Goes up a little bit and then down ever so slightly, but not a whole lot. So I don't know if my figure's been out in the warmth, if he's just kind of loose, but he's not terribly loose, but the joints aren't tight. So I don't know if it's just because it's been warm. That's what's going on there. So that's the Logan figure. Next, we'll take a look at the motorcycle, and we actually have to do a little bit of assembly, just like we did with the other one. So the handlebars are going to go in like so. And I remember on the Ghost Rider one, I had a little bit of trouble doing it. Hopefully I won't have as much of a problem this time around. So you can see there, it's just gonna port in there. And that doesn't look right. It's kind of up on there. Oh, it's because I have it backwards, duh. So make sure you put it on the right way. Fits on like so. And that thing bothers me. So as I took it out of the package, these pouches, these cargo pouches, they fall off quite easily just because it kind of just sits on there. So we have this little port peg hole there, and this is just going to port right in there. On the Ghost Rider, you see there's a little flame effect that comes off right at the top. So this is just going to rest right on there, and you can see how it's shaped to just sit over the fender. So it just kind of sits on there. It doesn't click into place or anything. It is kind of loose. There is another additional pouch that you see that's just going to port in right there on those two plugs. There's two holes for it there. Let's see, let's put them on first. So port those together. They're there. They're just done with a nice soft rubber material. They can open. They are empty. Same thing on both sides. And you can just slip the strap right in there. So there is some paint. They did put silver paint onto the buckles of those straps. So nice little attention to detail by Hasbro to actually paint those, and then as well as these top pieces here. So to fit it on, we're just going to place it on and make sure that it ports into that hole up at the top of the fender, like so. And then unfortunately there's ports and pegs here, but they don't port into the pouches or anything because, again, this motorcycle is a reuse from the Ghost Rider one. You can see you still have those pegs from the flame effects and everything. It's just the different paint detail. One thing is the light is a white. I think it was a yellow on Ghost Rider. These orange lights are not a shiny color like the Ghost Rider one. Obviously black tires. Wheels are the same. Engine's the same. Piping and exhaust is the same. So it is the same motorcycle. Everything about it is the same. See, and this just doesn't want to stay on there. So you guys that may want to glue it down to get it to stay, or however you guys may want to do that. But see, and then you have this problem too. So you have this piece. That pouch sits on it. It doesn't lay flush with it. And that's kind of a bummer. That was a poor design. So I guess it's on that back side, so you're not going to see it. But that does not sit nicely on there. See how it sits nice and flush on this side? This side, it does not. So don't be surprised when you see that thing going to want to keep coming off. So the motorcycle close-up is done with this nice blue color. It's the same blue color. You see a little bit of marbleization in there. Not a whole lot to it. The other Ghost Rider one was just a flat black with a blue stripe, so we got some color to it, but not a whole lot. Same kickstand, and it does hold the motorcycle up like so. So let's get Logan onto the bike. Logan's a shorter figure. He may have some trouble reaching the handlebars. All right, let me pause the video. Let me get him onto the motorcycle and show you guys. There he is on the motorcycle, guys. He's such a shorter figure. It's definitely difficult to get him onto the motorcycle and looking natural, like he's really riding it. One big thing on this is that the hands, it's definitely hard to get those fingers around the handlebars, around the grips. I had trouble with this one here. You may want to really heat up the figure and get those fingers out of place. So it's definitely a little bit tough there. And when getting them on, the pouches, the cargo pouches, still kept coming off. Again, that's probably going to drive a lot of people crazy because it drives me insane having to do that and keep correcting it, and it just not really fit on there nicely because it just wants to keep coming off. That pouch on the back side just doesn't want to stay in place because that black little notch that's really in its way. So there he is. As far as trying to get him into the pose that you see on the back of the packages might be a little bit difficult, and I just actually kind of noticed that they show a gray on that figure, but it is a white tank top. So there is the figure. I'll try and get a picture, snap a picture or two of him actually in that pose. But there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, leave comments down below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Appreciate it. Thanks.